Okay, next up, a good friend from the show, Jeff from Wisconsin. He contacted me, said he had some tools they want to send into the show, and we spoke back and forth, and I get a box and it says heavy. And let me show you what the box looks like.
It's a flat rate box, and it says heavy. When I tell you it's heavy, it is heavy.
Jeff says heavy at 30 pounds for this little box. That is heavy.
But here's what's really cool. As soon as I opened it, I didn't open it yet, but I saw that. Look at that. Look at the plywood box that fits perfectly inside the flat rate box. So I'm real excited to see what's in here.
Okay, so here's what's inside the flat rate box, and look at the beautiful box that this is in, right? Look at this. Everything is all the edges are softened. Everything is smooth. Look at the Roberts drive screws he used to secure. I just don't know how to open it. So I'm assuming that this top comes off, so I'll just pop off these screws around here. But he's like me, you know, with screws and stuff. But look how nice this is. I mean, not a sharp edge on anything. It's just obviously Jeff's a woodworker. And look, he used all high-grade plywood, no gaps. I mean, the box alone is gorgeous. Okay, I just unboxed all of Jeff's goods, and let's go check it out. You're not going to believe it.
Okay, this is what Jeff sent over to the channel, and in no particular order, but it's just amazing. Look at all this stuff, and that's just not even all of it. But let me show you. First, got some mixing sticks. Tongue depressors. We can always use them for mixing epoxies in the small cups. Always using them. Some buffing compound, and he sent 4 buffs over there. These are nice ones because they're the stiff ones like I use, and these are the buff adapters in case you didn't have the right arbor. Also sent a beautiful file card. Look at this one here on the back. It's a Colton's number 10 file cleaner, and you see that pin? That's for picking out, aluminum or something else that gets stuck in the file. And of course, it's a nice vintage file cleaner. 3 new file handles. 4 beautiful files. This one here is a half round, and it's a Sandvik. This one here is a Baco, and these 2 are lathe files. Let me show you what that is. Okay, here's the difference between a lathe file on the right. This is a Nicholson file, you could see, and it will say here Nicholson, and on the other side it'll say flat long angle lathe bastard. Bastard is the type of cut it is. Now, if you look over here, this one here is a standard file, standard flat mill file, and it's this Baco. And let me show you what the difference is. If you look at the angle, okay, look down here at the bottom. You see this angle here, how sharp it is compared to this one? And I'll put them side by side. You can see the definite, this one has a longer angle. And that is for using it on the lathe, it gets a better cut. You can use any file on the lathe, but these were specifically made for stock that rotates. Another thing you'll notice on a lathe file is over here where you have an edge. See the edge over here? It's a file too. Well, on these they have what's called a safety edge, where they grind it down. That's flat, and that's so you don't damage anything on the side, because you just want to hit the top or whatever. You don't want to touch this to the lathe dog or anything else that's spinning and grind it down. So both sides have what they call a safety edge, and a lot of people put them on their files to begin with if they're going to be filing up close to something and they don't want to put any scratches on the other side. So that's the difference between a lathe file and a regular file. He also sent over some pen blanks, and I used to turn a lot of pens. This here, as you could tell, is a Cocobolo. You can tell by the stripes in here. This here is a rosewood, and you can see here it's typically has like a little bit of a reddish tinge to it. Now this here I've never actually turned before, but what's so interesting, this is a redwood burl, and this really, when it gets polished up and everything, a burl is usually the bottom, like the knot of a tree or something, you'll see, and burl's very hard to get, but this is I've never seen one of these before, redwood burl. But that should come out. Moving on down here, sent some nice hexagonal stock. This is 1-inch hex steel, and this is 5/8. Now you can always tell somebody that really, like, you see here, every edge is softened. You see, now some people would just cut it off and then and that becomes real sharp, a hazard. But here's how you can tell a true craftsman. Even if they're cutting this off and they're not going to use this piece, they soften that edge for the next time they're going to use it. So very impressive. Couple nice wrenches, which we're going to definitely restore these. This is a Bonnie down here, and this one here is an Oxwald, which I really never heard before, but another one we'll restore.
two Morse taper adapters. And this is for when you have if you have a smaller machine or a bigger machine. Let's say you have a Morse taper number 1 and your machine is a number 2. You could slip it into here and this would make a 1 into a 2. And you see how that works. You know, it's like, it adapts one size to the other. A beautiful Jacobs Super Chuck. And we just saw Tom restore one of these on his channel. Look how pretty this is, huh? I always wanted one of these, and look at this. Look at the size of these things. Moving over here, we got a nice wire brush for one of our arbors that we made, an American-made one, and these are hard to find ones made in the USA. This, I don't know if you ever seen one of these before. We had one of these in my house for years. It's an ice pick, a spring-loaded ice pick. This flat is so that it don't roll off the table. That's what that flat's for. But these things work fantastic. If you ever used an ice pick before, a regular ice pick, you know, you got a jam. This thing really does a great job. They're really good tools. We don't usually have block ice anymore. This here is called it's a cloth, abrasive cloth. I use this all the time in a lathe, but I bought them in sheet. This is unbelievable. If you've never used this before, you know how sandpaper clogs up? Well, guess what? Look at them holes. Outstanding material, this stuff. They sell them in sheets. They're pretty expensive. That's a great way to buy. I've never seen them come in a roll like that. That's awesome. And then all these square bits, you know, for like, for the braces, the screwdrivers. Look at this countersink. Look at this cool countersink. Huh? With a little slit in it like that. I never saw one of those before. Some of these tools, here's another countersink, screwdrivers, and then beautiful drill bits, square shanked. Every one of them, the tips are all perfect. I checked them out. Not one of them has like a banged up tip. It's really great. We have a beautiful dial indicator, 0 to 1 inch, but look how smooth this is. This is an old Enco, and it looks new old stock. I mean, it's so smooth and so beautiful. I'll show you how this thing works on a video soon. These are, forget it. You know, to have one of these in such good condition, in such good working condition is really a blessing. And then here, and this is what, you know, blew me away. Look at this here. First of all these drill bits, and what's nice about these drill bits, drill bits usually come in what they call a jobber length. Okay, when you buy a drill set or something like that, drills have a standard. It's they call them jobber lengths, and that's pretty much a standard drill bit. Now, this is a standard 3/16 inch drill bit. It goes in one of these sets, and you can see that it'll taper up. You know, they have a standard length for the size drill it is. A 3/16 standard length is 3.5 inches long. So that's what this one is. Now, when you get these specialty bits, this is the same size, 3/16, but this is 5.25 inches long. And, you know, they're much more expensive because, you know, it's not done on the same machines that these are done on, and this is a specialty bit. So what's interesting is all of these bits here are longer bits. So, and how many times have you drilled a small hole and you need a longer bit? You know, it's just, this is fantastic. You know, you never see something like this. And some of these here, if you notice, these have a different fluting to them. So, you know, it's made for different material. It'll get rid of the fluting. You see that the twist is different than the other ones. So all these drill bits, and they're all sharp. They're beautiful. Here we have a nice assortment of taps over here. Some a plug, taper. Over here we have this type of tape. This is a tap that I don't even have. It's usually made for like a machine tap, because you notice that the flutes are a little bit different so that it don't get clogged up. But these, you know, they're all USA made. I can't even afford USA taps. You know, they're so expensive. So, and they're all sharp. They're all beautiful. And here's the best part. Look at this. Over here are long taps. Now, I don't know if you ever... Every once in a while, you'll have to tap something through a hole, and I'm coming up to that for this week's video. I'm going to be doing a wrench, and you know, I could have used a long tap, but here it is. This is these are long taps. Again, they're all USA made, a whole assortment of sizes, and I'm going to put these in a special box so that they're not, you know, touching or banging up on each other, but really amazing stuff. So this is my first real unboxing video. I've never done anything like that. Probably be my last too. But the reason that I'm doing this is to reach out to you. First of all, to thank Jeff for his, you know, tremendous generosity, but to also reach out to you and let you know, because I really feel like our subscribers here, you know, this channel, we're like a big family. And I want you to know that if any one of you have a problem or something, you see the tools I have. I got the mill, I got the lathe, I got the dake. If you're doing a restoration or something and you come across a problem, I hope you won't hesitate and reach out to me, because if I can't do it, there's some things I can't restore Briggs and Stratton, then you see Dave. But for me, if there's something I can help you with or something, please, I wish you would reach out to me. I'd be glad to help you out. I got all this stuff, and that's what it's for. We help each other out, and we can better our restorations and make it a better place. So anyway, thanks so much for tuning in, Jeff. Thank you, and have a nice day, everybody.